Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Journey in 10, where we spend at least 10, maybe a little bit more sometimes, intentional minutes building faith, alignment, and whole life clarity. Because around here, Purposely Made Life, we want to make sure that we take care of the whole woman, and we are encouraging you throughout every area of your life. I'm your host, Tanisha Woolley, certified purpose and soul transformation coach. And this is your invitation. This is your this is your invitation to pause. Sorry, I'm getting all of my words together. So I'm pausing. But this is the invitation to pause in the middle of everything that pulls your focus, whether it's early in the morning or during the day or in the evening. And each month, we are going to center our hearts around one theme that really anchors our personal, spiritual, and professional growth. We're bringing it all together. And this month, we are going to dive into faith in the rebuild, which I think is very timely for the month of November as we're winding down the year and looking forward to 2026. And we are going to go on a journey of what it means to heal, to renew, and to divinely prepare for the next season that God has us entering into. So, wherever you are at the moment, whether you are at your desk, in your car, whether it's morning, whether it's afternoon, or you're winding down for the evening and you are taking a long breath just to let the day out, let's take a moment to rebuild or reset from our day from the inside out. Okay? So, we're going to dive in today talking about letting go with grace. And our anchor scripture for today is Ecclesiastes 3 and 6. And Ecclesiastes 3 and 6 says, "A time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away." And if you have ever taken or had the opportunity to read Ecclesiastes 3, you know that this chapter is all about giving us a perspective on seasons and times. So when we put it into that perspective, we're going to be talking about what it looks like to have seasons of growth. And there's one part of growth that I don't think that we really talk enough about, and that is the surrender part of growth. And this is the part in the season where you find yourself not striving to fix all of the things anymore. You find yourself at a point of maybe feeling exhausted to make all of the pieces fit together because the square pegs are not fitting in the round holes, right? Things are just not gelling as they should. This is the season where you are no longer begging for those old doors that you closed previously to open back up again. This is really the season, and the art of surrendering is about letting things go and releasing them. And the underlying premise of that is trust. Trusting that what God may remove from you is not rejection. And it's not Him taking something away from you that you've desired completely. What it is His strategic redirection. It's a moment where your will and God's wisdom stop wrestling against each other. This is where you actually take the moment in the midst of all of the storms that are going on around you, and you exhale. So maybe you will find yourself being in a season where you are trying to carry it all. You're trying to carry and to hold on to a relationship that maybe once had promise, but it's no longer serving you or pushing you forward in the direction of growth. Or maybe it's a role that you're currently in at your job or maybe at church or a volunteer organization that you know deep in your heart that you have outgrown, but you are staying. And if you're honest with yourself, you're staying out of an obligation. Maybe you are having a hard time releasing and letting go and surrendering to God a title or a timeline or the version of your life that you thought you'd have by now. And somewhere in the weight of carrying all of these things that probably have been gnawing at your heart for a little bit now, you felt something in some instinct in your gut that something has needed to change. And somewhere in the midst of carrying all of that on your own shoulders, you've forgotten that releasing all of these things to God is actually a holy thing. So I want to remind us of what Ecclesiastes 3 and 6 says. It says, there is a time to search and a time to give up. There's a time to keep and a time to throw away. So here is the important moment of today. Letting go of all of these things does not mean that you have failed. When you reach the point of being able to let go, or actually the art of letting go, right? It actually means that you have matured enough to know when a season has expired. Let me run that back. Letting go is actually a picture for you that you have matured enough to know when a season is no longer working for you and you need to release it. So you don't have to fear when you're letting go and you're trusting God. You don't have to fear what you'll lose because you can trust that God will rebuild. But the catch here is that the rebuilding can only begin when our hands are free because we've released all of the obligations, all of the shoulda, the wouldas, all of those. So today, here is your invitation. I want to invite you to loosen the grip of whatever it is that you're holding on to that is no longer serving you, that is no longer adding to your growth and the woman and the leader that you are becoming. And once you loosen your grip and release all of those things, I want you to leave the pieces, pray about it, and I want you to allow God to repurpose the rubble. And know that you don't have to have all of the answers. You just have to have the courage to stop holding on. So this is your season to rise, not with control and trying to make it happen or trying to orchestrate it in a certain way, but complete and total surrender and trust. And trust begins with a graceful release. So if today's message spoke to your heart, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode so that another young woman who also may be feeling like this is a season of rebuild for her can actually get this message. The algorithm loves when you like and you share. So you guys, please help get this message out, because we want to start a movement of women who are rebuilding in their faith and focusing on letting go of what is no longer serving them and moving fast towards what God has for them with courage. So we're going to be doing a whole series on the faith in the rebuild. So you can catch the full devotional series here on my channel at Purposely Made Life TV. And you can also, as a bonus, download a free reflection guide for this entire month, where you can dig a little bit deeper each day on the topics that we share here at my website, purposelymadelife.com, and I'll have all of this information down below, so you can definitely check out those links. And I want you to remember that rebuilding is not rushing to be whole again. It's about letting God do the quiet work inside of us that restores what is eternal and who He's already called us to be. So I'll see you all next time on The Journey in 10, where we will continue to rise faithfully, intentionally, on purpose. Make it a great day.